Welcome everyone back to another Boldcast reaction. I'm Carson.
I'm Lindsay.
And this is Hell's Paradise episode 5. What happened last time?
That one girl was alive. There was the giant fish, and there was lots of other stuff, and some of them could talk. Potentially all of them can talk. So yeah, getting pretty interesting.
Let's see what happens this time. Leave a like and subscribe. Check out Patreon for uncut reactions. You get uncut reactions on our seasonals roughly an hour before they come out, because we record it, post the uncuts, and then I edit the video to go up to YouTube. So if you want to see these reactions, you get them uncut, timer reactions, but you also, the benefit is you get them early. And since we're doing a lot of seasonal reactions, it's actually kind of worth it. So yeah, you can check that out if you want to get our uncut, full, unedited opinions and takes on anime early. Patreon.com/Boldcast. Other than that, leave a like and subscribe. Let's go. Who's your favorite character so far in the show? For me, it's the Ronin guy.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, I think this is when the little pink-haired girl's gonna come in.
Yeah.
Because in the OP, I think the Ronin, the yellow-haired kid, and the pink-haired girl like meet up. I think like towards the end, they're like sitting around talking.
Yeah.
And she's hanging out with Groot. OP. Because you're a woman. This is how I look at women.
Whoa.
Totoro. Oh, by the scales. Right. It's camp.
Just chilling out or cooking.
Well, yeah, but short on time doesn't mean rush your way through an unknown territory and die. They're like the food pills from Naruto. They're just like full. They're just nutrients.
I would not want to eat anything from here.
I mean, what else are you gonna do? You got 3 days worth of food. What do you think? Yeah, right. She doesn't believe that for a second. She must have heard rumors about their chief.
Yeah.
Being like all powerful and the people from their village being insanely strong. By the way, Haikyuu is Okinawa. Apparently.
Oh. I used all the dead human flower bodies.
I mean, technically everything used to be living at one point, or like a living creature. Boo, yeah, Buddhist and Taoist. Very sexual. A lot of very sexual imagery, more than I'm used to seeing in Buddhist culture, but then again, I'm not an expert.
They wouldn't be mysterious if you lived here.
It's like they're fused with the land. They're getting way more explicit about their analysis of these creatures than I'm used to. Usually creepy, like religious looking creatures are like, oh, you know, they're just demons, you know? Too artificial to be mystical.
不老不死の手がかりだな。戦薬が島にある可能性が見えてきた。あるなら
Okay.
見つけたら無罪で帰れ。
私たちがすでにどっかで死んでて、ここが本物の姉よじゃなきゃね。
それだけは勘弁願いたい。
日暮れ、まだ島に着いてから1日経ってない。
It's crazy they're still on the first day now.
源氏殿。
さぎり、お主は船で本土に帰れ。
Women aren't supposed to be
お役目は拙者がする罪人も死んだしな。お主は侍である前に山田家
You are a woman. You should be gone. As a woman, you should be a woman.
拙者がなれば上位にも背かんはずだ。
This is your whole character.
Okay, okay.
帰るのだ。さぎり
Go home, woman.
これは私の職務。
But as a woman.
私の使命です。
Stop.
それにその刀、どこで拾ったかあり合わせだろう。刀は武士の心。
Yeah.
お主はすでに山田家の心を失った。
I was thinking that too. Like, a sword's it's not no biggie. Like, it's a big deal.
確かにお主の剣技は
And for this clan who's like super precise and trained.
Yeah, it's different when someone's literally just waiting for you to cut their head off.
Yeah.
女の限界だ。
簡単に帰れますかね。派遣された侍のほとんどが帰らない島だ。船を使っても容易に脱出できるかどうか。とにかく島から離れないと。何も見えずとも。
Did we see this guy dead in the OP?
They're trying to take off.
ちゃんと帰るよ。大体このまま島から帰れても戦薬がなきゃどうせ死罪だろ。
Yeah. Yeah, right, buddy.
Sure. Why? Because I'm a kid? What do you know? It's a ghost ship. It's a ghost ship. That's a fucking ghost ship for sure. Yep.
There's so many.
Is that the ship that dropped them off?
All the ships that attempted to leave the island?
That's the boat that dropped them,
Is it?
or one of them, or like from the
Oh.
from maybe from a previous time. Actual ghost ship. Yeah, so they can't leave. So this is them telling us you cannot fucking leave. Maybe if you get the fruit, you can leave.
Yeah.
No extraction point.
I don't like the look of those things. Ew.
Well, their boat's fucked. Better hope there's a land. This is some berserk-esque imagery. Very phallic looking stuff. Sanka bloodline. Are they like Indian?
どうしても考えてしまう。これは天罰なのか。なあ、
What?
道に迷ってるなら麓まで案内してやるよ。
Amishi. Amishi?
エミシってなんだ？
One who doesn't obey. The Amishi. That was the name of the tribe in Princess Mononoke that he was from.
ごめんみんな。ごめんじいちゃん。
Oh shit.
俺が侍を
And in Princess Mononoke,
Oh.
they were all slaughtered. And they all ran off to the eastern province.
どうすればいい？村の血を絶やさぬために生きるべきか。村のみんなに償うために死ぬべきか。俺は。翔さん、なんで？
That's the guy that left, right? Yeah.
It was like, ugh.
囲まれた。何やってんすか、ムルガイ君。
逃げるなら一人で逃げろ。俺はもう。
は？何言ってんすか、わかんねえっす。
ずっと考えてた。死ぬべきか。 天罰なんだ。じいちゃんはみんなを殺した俺への。
全然わかんねえ。侍がバカなんでしょ。ちゃんと説明してくれよ。
三河山の村のみんなのために生きるのは習わし、俺は一人で生き残っちまったんだ。俺のせいでみんな死んだのよ。
全然わかんねえ。なんすか習わしって。難しいこと言わないでくれ。
だから構うなと言ったろ。
You better hope there's not some kind of weird poison
Yeah,
with
that's what
that.
I was thinking.
If there is, you better cut that fucking arm off. He's badass, dude.
いい加減に説明してくれ。じいちゃんと村とかじゃなく、身自身が死にたいかどうかを。
死にたくなんかないよ。山に帰りたい。
それならやることは一つでしょう。
戦い。
何が何でも生き延びろ。あそこに使えそうな船がある。ここを突破した。
Boat looks. I mean, I know it's fine and they can get away on it, but it looks so suspicious.
It does. It does. It does look like the one. It looks like a trap. They did it, or did they?
Yeah,
Oh, Jesus.
pretty rough.
But you're now on the land of the monsters.
ああ、島に流れ着くようになってるんだ。
Hmm.
外へ向かう海流を見つけないと戦略があっても帰れないにあの化け物。島にいたのとはまた別種だろう。
の山も島をかぼっているようでしたね。
How didn't they run into those ships and stuff on the way there?
とりあえず血を洗い流して
Very interesting.
Yeah. And maybe the currents just like there's one flowing in,
Yeah.
and then there's none flowing out. For some reason. I should have fucking called this dude.
ボイというか女だぞ。
I should have called this
I
shit.
thought that she was a girl, but then it was like, oh, you're just a boy, and I'm like, oh, okay.
This is like another series that I don't want to spoil for Lindsay. But if you know, you know.
夜が明けたら船で帰れ。サギリ。このお役目は女による身代わり。
It's literally what I said.
理由はともかく帰れるなら帰った方がいい場所。
You know, she really shouldn't, because then she will definitely die.
As we have just found out.
あなたにいてほしい。
ですか。
None of you can stop Gabimaru.
彼の変化にあなたも心当たりがあるのでは。
Some idea, yes.
離れてよ。であれば、あなたがいた方がこちらとしても心強いのですが。
そうですか。
Fair.
Doesn't your ass get cold with those
そうやって
fucking
夜を悲
clothes?
観する気か。なら、他の組は夜はどうしてるんだ。ますますお上の計画はずさんだ。
侍はただ従うのみです。
じゃあ、
どうぞ。
いや、気分はもう大丈夫なのか。
はい。
なんだよその顔。
いえ。
お主には借りもあるし。おかげで冷静になった。覚悟を決めたよ。闇雲に急いでも危険なだけだし、岩隠れ衆が上陸してくるなら迎え撃てばいいとな。と決めたんだ。この役目より長い長い人生を。ならばそれを邪魔する者からは逃げない。真正面から迎え撃つ。
強いですね。
お主だって強いだろ。わし以上に。
そんなこと。
あるよ。そういうことの見極めは確かだぞ。わしは心技体ってやつか。心根が影響するのか。少なくとも牢屋敷でのお主は強かった。少女はない。もっと具体的な強さ。あの感覚は何だったのかな。意外そうな顔だな。
ええ、まあ。
里でもよく言われたよ。自分で場数を踏まなきゃ自分の強さなどわからんと。自分自身のことは案外自分じゃわからんもんだな。
So wise.
Very wise.
みんな同じか。
That's true though. People don't really know themselves at all.
何も現れなかったな。
They're just like Titans.
拙者の船まで案内しよう。
お気遣いありがとうございます。
What?
ですが、 帰りません。
They're not active at night. They don't really have
親子の規
organs.
則なら気にするな。
Oh, right.
もはやこれ
Yeah,
は
that's true.
私の生き方に関わるもの。
なおのことくだらん。
Oh my god, this guy.
It's exactly what I said. I wasn't even actually far off at all. But you're a woman. That means that you're a woman. And if you're a woman, you must be a woman.
いいと嘲笑の目。
People regard a woman as a woman. And if they pick up a sword,
何より
they say
父が
woman.
時折見せ落胆の目。
女では山田家の剣は継がせられん。女として生きなさい。
首切り朝の娘として生きれば外から蔑まれ山田家の武士として生きれば命から疎まれる。帰ってはきっと一生つきまとうでしょう。
理解ができんな。女には女の役割があるのは当然のことだろう。
私にはその目がたまらなく耐え難いのです。
なんだと？
どうか私を一人の侍として見てください。
貴様！
どうかガウグレート、私の生き方をお許しください。自分の生き方くらい自分で決めたい。それはきっと男も女もあるいは立場も関係なく人として当然の感情ではないでしょうか。どうかご理解ください。
Kicks her in the face.
聞くに耐えんな。それは侍の生き方ではない。この島は戦場のごときもの。女子供は場違いだ。
Wow.
Okay, I'm glad she did that after all that talk of I'm a woman, I can be my own person, and then Gabimaru swoops in. That would be so dumb.
Steals his sword.
刀は武士の魂。それを奪うとは。
Speaking of Titans, it's that guy. He's back.
I thought that was one of the freaking. Not too mad about that one.
Good night, Genji Dono.
Got beat by a woman and then killed like 2 seconds later. It's rough. Rough for
Dishonored.
him. His last memory is that of a woman. Mere scum defeating him and stealing his sword.
There's nothing wrong with being a woman. They're just a woman. I still think the wife's dead.
I really hope the wife is not dead. I just feel like it'll just be too sad if the wife's dead. What if she remarried?
I don't think she would do that.
What if she just did?
I don't think she would choose to do that.
I just want a show with a happy ending, you know? Like he can go home to his wife and they can have a great time.
I mean, we can hope that this show even has an ending.
That's true.
So yeah, she's a woman, and
She's a woman and the other girl is also a woman.
right, a lot of women.
Two
in this
women.
show.
There's way too many women in this show. Get
This
them
is
out.
the woman episode, where the male character is dumb, unless they're Gabimaru, and the woman is a woman. And that's the whole episode. I'm a woman. Let me live as I want. I get it. Speaking purely of this show, it's not dumb. Like I can't really hate on it, and I'm not really hating on it. It's just there was nothing really deeper about any. It was just like, I'm a woman. Let me choose my life. I'm a woman samurai.
Do you feel like it was just because it was so repetitive of what she had already been saying? This guy was just the manifestation of what she had already been like remembering and thinking about the whole time.
Yes, it's just like another. It's like she's always struggling against like her own identity, and it just feels like, what has she, like, it's been a day. It feels like we're front loading a little bit with all this character exposition and not like actually exploring it through action or through like, you know, a show. You know, we're just kind of, we're seeing all these other side stories with all these other characters, but our group has like, they arrived, they fought each other, they like fought this other guy, and then they just keep, like, I don't know. I don't want to sound like I'm complaining too much, but it just feels like all of these things could have been explored over a longer period of time and been way more satisfying and been an arc. Then again, maybe they want to get to more interesting things, or they might just want to get the character stuff out of the way so that they get to the plot. If maybe, I don't know. Mm-hmm. Like, it seems like they're still just introducing, it's just like character exposition after character exposition and just, you know, hardcore setup and not set up by way of like searching for the thing. Like they sit down and talk about what they're going to do and talk about making an alliance. Last episode, this time they talk about how they're going to go about things. And we're still just getting like, okay, this last episode was like, here's the monsters. This is what the monsters are like. This one's like reflecting on that. And, you know, there's no escape. We can't sail out of this place. It's just a lot of information. And it feels like we're this far in, and the story hasn't really started. It's like still just setting the stage. And it feels like every episode needs to set up something else. And it just feels like too much setup at once. It feels like too much get it going at once rather than, I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what would remedy that, because like it's not like this stuff doesn't need to be set up. Like it's all, you know, it's what's the setting? What's the world? What are the rules? You know? I don't know. What do you think?
I think the only thing that I think makes it seem a little bit slow or a little bit drawn out or a little bit repetitive is just like the whole like it is the kind of the main characters, like the side characters. This episode we got new side characters. The two of them, they had an interesting dynamic where she had accidentally led some samurai to her village, where then they were all slaughtered for not submitting to the shogunate, basically. And then she feels super guilty about that, but then the guy that's with her is like, oh, a child shouldn't, you know, get put to death. That's not fair. I think you deserve to live. Come on. And then he's trying to row her out of there and everything. And that's kind of an interesting dynamic, because we've seen, you know, all these different groups that there's a different relationship. There's like the two brothers that, you know, the one brother went in and undercover, and they're both there working together. There's the two guys with the kunoichi girl, where they both just kind of like are doing what she says because they like her. But women, right? But he's following her around still, which is kind of funny. So there's these different dynamics, and that's kind of cool. But I do also feel a little bit of what you're saying, of just like, we had the initial setup of her character of there's not really any women who are doing what she's doing. She's very, very talented. She's super badass, but she doubts herself, and
her
that's
biggest
kind of
enemy is herself.
That's the main problem. And it's like what Gabimaru was saying, of just, you know, people don't know how strong they are. People don't know a lot about themselves. And that's true. But I feel like we've had the same problem or the same thought process for her since episode 1. She's just been thinking the same thing over and over and over, and then being outwardly confronted by the same thing that she's already thinking over and over and over. And it's not in a super interesting way. Like, this time is just so direct.
Yeah.
That it's just it's literally just a manifestation of exactly what she's thinking.
It just feels like I'm losing more of the mystique of her character every time she opens her mouth and gives all this exposition.
Yeah, when we first
introduced her, she was all stoic.
So cool.
She was stoic, like samurai warrior woman lady, and she like had a different side to her, and this like vulnerable side was something she kept sort of within and kept up this brunt face. But ever since then, it's been like she's just that vulnerable side, and she's just like really hardcore trying to prove herself. No like face about it, no like dynamism about it. It's just like, again, the most direct way possible. This is my character. This is who I am. You know, and then Gabimaru says something that like cuts to her core, and then she learns something and makes a breakthrough. It's like, it's been one day, it feels like she made like 3 different breakthroughs, and it's just kind of like,
but nothing changes after each time.
Well, maybe they will. Maybe this, like, that's what I'm thinking is, this is all the reason. There must be a reason this is all happening at this point. There's a writing reason why this is happening. This is probably because they need the characters to have these like established bonds and issues and goals personally, so that when shit hits the fan and goes crazy, or when they get, you know, are actually doing the plot, then, you know, things matter. But it's just like, it's a way too direct way of doing what they want to do. And it just feels it's just way too much character exposition, and it's like we stepped one foot onto this island and we're already having these like huge character discussions and character dialogue, breakthrough therapy moments, and it's like people barely know each other, and I don't know, it just feels it feels a bit fast. It feels a bit way too fast, and the people don't really act like this. Like, people like you go over these things over a long time. You don't just like have these problems your whole life and then like confront them the day. And I get that like she met Gabimaru, she had this breakthrough on her own, and now she's being confronted by like somebody from her past who like grew up with her and is confronting her with the same shit that she's dealt with her whole life. And then she, having that previous breakthrough with Gabimaru, goes forward and then speaks her mind with him. And then, whatever. But it's just kind of like, why does it all need to happen like right now? Why is it all happening like in the first day? Maybe like I just feel like it could happen.
Yeah. Do you also feel like it maybe would have been a little bit more interesting if the "you're a woman" guy, I don't know his name, had even more of a personal relationship with her?
Yeah.
Like they had way more history that like maybe he was like very close to her growing up and was constantly trying to dismiss her, or was like close with her dad, and he had potential, like they had been possibly gonna be like arranged to marry, and this was like or something along those lines, or that they had been like I don't know, just some sort of deeper connection there that would make him,
rather than just like
specifically
coworkers,
calling him, not just like, oh, you're like a senior.
I don't think that really matters. Like,
I'm just asking.
I don't. Yeah, if you're asking, my answer is I don't think that really matters. Like I don't think that really matters. I think the thing is just, yeah, you hit the nail on the head. It's just too direct. It's too like she's just. It's just, I don't know. Yeah, maybe it's that. Maybe it's that they don't have much of a relationship that I understand. Like, obviously, they grew up in the same place and they study the same art and everything. It's just kind of, for a whole episode or like half an episode to do this. I think the real thing is right now. It's just like she's going through like months of therapy over the course of a day. And it just feels like, what's her character arc going to be after this? Like, it's just going to be the same thing probably, right?
Yeah,
like, either
there's kind of two options. It's either she keeps doing this for like the next while, or she actually like has her breakthrough and like turns into a bit more of a badass and like has confidence in herself. And maybe that will be in this next fight if she's able to take down this giant crazy dude that's just come in. Mm-hmm. And maybe that's like, that's where she kind of proves herself and gets back onto it, isn't just a damsel in distress being saved by other people.
I just feel like I feel like it's maybe, but it's like they're ham-handedly, I'm not the damsel in distress, like I can forge my own path and my own destiny. It's like, okay, now let's do it. And I also feel like, it's it's only 5 episodes in, so maybe we'll get more, but it's just like I guess I was expecting more like survival aspect of this place, like learning about the like, and we're learning about like, they're thinking about like the statues and the monsters and about how, but like, I don't know, maybe it is a pacing thing. I don't know.
The environment is taking a back seat a little bit.
Maybe. Maybe we're only 5 episodes in, so that's
like
hard
this
to say.
Episode that they were actually, the one guy was actually analyzing what they learned. Like he's been taking notes and like comparing it to like different religious aspects, and he's been compiling everything that they know. And I think that that's really cool, because sometimes in shows like this, they don't like think about it too much. They're just like, oh, we're in this crazy place.
Yeah.
I guess we'll just, commit everything to memory, or just forget about it, or not really think about what we're seeing. Mm-hmm. Or just be like, oh, I wonder what that means. But I do like that the characters in this, at least the guy with the glasses, he is analyzing it and thinking about it and kind of wondering what it could mean for them. And they're discussing of, oh, well, if these things are alive but they don't have organs or anything, but then what that kind of speaks to immortality. Where are we gonna, how are we gonna find something like that? We're gonna look around. If we learn more about them, maybe we can learn more about how they have gotten this ability, or how they are made or created, or where they come from. So I do like that. I think that's cool.
It's also just there's only 20 minutes in an episode, so what else are you gonna... Yeah, I do like that. I want more of that. I want more of, like, what is this place? How are we going to move about it? What's not just what's the plan, but, like, maybe show them in action doing stuff than just sitting around talking about it. Like, if maybe if they were sitting around cooking food while talking about it, rather than, like, okay, we can eat the food that he made for us, and then have a joke about the food, and then just sit around and talk about
maybe,
it. Or something dynamic going on.
What about them, like, looking for different food? Like, he's like, oh yeah, there's mostly it's just plants. Yeah, that we already know.
We could have seen him like picking it and gathering it.
If we could have sort of seen him in action, determining what was safe and what was not, and as he's looking around, that he starts recognizing things, and I think that could have been cool, because this place is so cool that I feel like I do want more of it. Like I want more, and not just more of the like creatures. I want more of just like the environment. Yeah,
I want to feel more in the world. I want to feel more immersed in the place, because the place is beautiful, but it feels kind of like we're in a clearing all the time talking. It's like we are walking down a path and we see them from one angle, and then they're just in a clearing, and then a monster shows up, or they're making camp and it's just in this big open area. And that's been like kind of every place.
More of like the super
more dynamic shots, or more like interesting framing, or more not just like standing in the woods looking beautiful talking about what's going on, because we've been getting that with the side stories, with like establishing the other characters, like last episode as well, with the brothers and everything. And that's where I feel more like I'm learning stuff and I'm getting somewhere, and things are moving forward. Whenever we get to Gabimaru and Sagiri, it feels like they're sitting around in a clearing in the forest talking, or just finished fighting like a big thing, and it's like, okay, the fights are cool, but I'm
I also I did like the reveal that like you kind of can't really leave.
Yeah,
it's cool, but I'm interested to see how do people get there, and like some people must have left because they know about the island.
Well, and the chief has
so
eaten the
people
fruit,
have
clearly.
Come and gone. There must be some sort of secret to it.
Yeah. Well, maybe you can only leave if you eat the thing.
No. But what I'm saying is, like, other people have seen it and left because everyone knew about the island. So people found the island and then went back and told them about it, and then they sent more people.
Well, there was the one person who got sent and then was on a boat and came back and was all flowers and shit.
Yeah, but they knew about it before that. That I'm pretty sure.
There are legends about everything all over the world. Like, they don't have They don't have a whole lot of information. They know that there was an island. Elixir of Life is probably there. Go ahead. There's legends about.
No, like as if I'm remembering right. They found the island, and then they sent all those guys, and then of those guys, only the one flower dude came back. So then they started this expedition. Like, they knew the exact location, and they kind of knew about it. If I'm remembering right.
I don't remember that part. But yeah, just more action. Just more let's be in the world. Not fighting action. Fighting action is just... It's just the same thing that we've got. I want to... What's the mission we're on? Are we on the mission, or are we going through, like... Let's not separate the plot from character, exposition and growth and evolution. Like, let's evolve the characters through exploring and learning and, like, feeling like we're there. Not just like, okay, now we're talking, and now we're fighting, and now we're talking, and now we're fighting, and we just like, we fight something, and then we learn something, and we talk about it, and then we talk about our characters, and then a fight breaks out, and then we fight, and then we, I want everything to be a little bit more cohesive, personally, going forward.
I was saying what would have been kind of cool, and I think made it a little bit more interesting, is the whole, like, oh, I'm a woman, so I can't do anything, and she's trying to prove herself. I feel like that plot and that character is just so played out and has been done so many times the same way. And I feel like I was just saying that it would have been kind of cool if she didn't really have that, and she was just a total badass, because in the first episode, that's what made her interesting, that's what made her cool, that's what kind of set her apart and like made you want to know more about her, right? So I think she could have still had like the same thing where she proved herself, like, but she already proved herself, like she had like the doubt and people were telling her no, but then she was just awesome and it was totally fine. And then she like goes off on this thing, and it's kind of like, if she is able to come back from this super dangerous thing that they could all die, then that would like really prove that she was capable of like leading the, you know, like if it's like, oh well, women can't be in charge of this clan, but then she goes and like proves herself to like the utmost, then
I think that's what's happening though.
But there's no promise that she can lead. That was never a thing. And then what I was gonna say, and she's doubting it the whole time. She's still proving to herself, but I kind of wish that she knew, like, had more confidence in herself. And then if they still want to have a moment where she loses confidence, they could team up or meet up with another group that had like the one person from her past who made her doubt herself or whatever, but then she can overcome it still. I just feel like,
isn't that kind of what that kind of happened?
But it didn't, because she doubted herself from day one, from after the first episode. In the second episode, she was doubting herself.
Yeah.
And I just feel like if she had more confidence, and then it was like shaken at like one point and then she regained it, that's a different story than you were confident when no one else was around in the very first episode, just when we met you, and then you were not confident the entire rest of the time, and everything in the entire world shakes you.
Yeah.
Anytime you come across literally any encounter, you're just like immediately thrown off.
Yeah.
That's a different story, I think.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I think that's probably the biggest thing, is just like the whole woman thing. It's just like it's played so it's really overdone.
And I do think as well, I wish that they had stuck more to the whole like having a problem with killing people thing. Regardless of her being a woman, that's still something to come to terms with, of like, who are you to decide that these people deserve to die, and how do you carry that, and her sort of being inspired by, or like learning from Gabimaru, what like was an interesting thing. It was like, oh, he's done the same thing, and he's not pretending that it isn't what it is, and I kind of am. That was a really interesting thing for her, I think.
I think we'll have more of that as it goes along. That they, again, I think this is all the case of like, okay, these are all the things about the character, this is what they are, let's develop them. Let's like speed run develop them in the beginning. That way when everything gets started, then, you know, they'll be developed and we don't have to worry about it. And I think that's the main problem, is it's just it's way too separate. It's way too like, yeah, and I think that's what forces her to be like unconfident, because I think a bit like the draw of her character is what we saw in episode 1, and ever since then, since they met up with the other Asaemon, she's just like quivering at the sight of anything, and it just kind of ruins what was cool about her, and it's all for the sake of developing her early on so that she can be that badass that we knew in episode 1 when. Yeah, I think you're right. Maybe she just had that confidence and you stuck to what you established her as. And like, yeah, maybe like having self-doubt is one thing. That's just part of being a person. But you know, and that's where I think the solution to it is wrong. It's like you created this problem of having all this self-doubt, and then you gave her so much self-doubt because you needed her to be developed, like hardline, speedrun developed. And your answer to that was to, you know, just solve, basically like instant solution to her problems, and then move on, or, you know, deal with them, like the lingering issues of that, and deal with them over time. Thanks for watching. Leave a like and subscribe. See you in the next one. I'm Carson.
I'm Lindsay.
Bye-bye.